broke above the same resistance that was stopped us before. See that, guys? This is the same level of resistance here. So resistance held the first time, we took the two-step short, the reversal. It then returned back to its short-term trend. We break through the very same level of resistance, right? The very same level of resistance there, we break through again. We then mark up a swing high. We wait for the break of that swing high, going now with the short-term trend, breaker pattern long, 78.35. Only about 5-6 minutes later, at 10.55, we took 2 off at 4, 2 off at 1. That's 10 ticks or 100 USD. So we took 20 ticks or 200 USD, guys, here at 10.47 and 10.55. And you can see up top here just how sloppy and choppy it got before it came and rolled back over again. So once again, we didn't see any real big strong moves, no real follow through. We got it just enough to get us in these trades, and then thank gosh for our trade management knowing exactly what to do and when to do it. So at this point, your guys at 10.55 on the crude, we're now back to gold. Now on gold here at 11 o'clock, this is where we began to see a lot of the moves begin to show up. We started seeing more speed, we started seeing more volume, the ATR began to rise. This is when we knew our patience was going to pay off. At this point, as you can see, we had already gone through a very challenging environment. We had gotten over the first trade loss. We got over, of course, this 10 o'clock chop and slop around the news and around Tiny Tim Geithner speaking at 10 o'clock. And now at 11 o'clock, we were in the rhythm. We were working with the market rather than against the market, right? We talked about that yesterday. We talked about how if you can take ownership of your trades, if you can work with the market, right, then you'll get into the rhythm of the day. Getting into the rhythm then allows you to capitalize on when these moves actually start working out. Now at 11 o'clock and 11:12, we're right back to the gold here, one of our favorite markets, the GC. Short-term trend is up. Notice how we're going to break and test the high of day here. We're going to mark up a swing high here, guys, at about 42.5 for our swing high there. And then we break above that swing high. That's going to be your entry for your breaker pattern long at 42.7. We took 2 off at 5, 1 off at 8, 1 off at 8 for 280 USD, guys. 26 ticks. That should be 260 USD. Excuse me. Yeah, 26 ticks there. So the first trade on gold today, I'm sorry, second trade. We skipped that one at 10.35 today. Small winner on gold. This is the second trade of the gold for the day. And of course, you can see nice big winner. 26 ticks for the winner on the gold at the high of day. Now, guys, this happens all the time where we take a breaker pattern long at the highs. And guys, what do we always know? We always know at the high of day, we're looking for what? Looking for that reversal pattern. So at the high, right, here we are at the high of day here. We just took 26 ticks out of the market at the highs. Now we're going to look for reversal, right? If we don't see this thing continuing to go back to those highs again, right, mark up your next available swing low, look for a break below that swing low, and that's going to be your two-step reversal. Now you can see here we have the open of the day here. As long as we're not trading at the open, right, I'm fine. So I'm going to stay away from this orange line here, the open of the day. Get below the swing low, right, and there's, of course, going to be your reversal pattern off the high. This all starts because we're looking for the high of day. Okay, this all becomes possible because we're testing the highs. So testing the high of day, we're going to look for a reversal off the high of day here, and we get that once we break through our swing low on the gold here. 1240.1 was the fill, right? Two-step pattern short. We took 2 off at 6. We took 1 off at 8. And 1 off at 1. That's 21 ticks, 210 USD. Guys, so here at 11:03, 11:12, we took 21 ticks out of the second trade, 26 ticks out of the first trade here, guys. And as you can see, nice 50 tick, 47 ticks there, guys, in a matter of 15 minutes. Now notice this is also on a 13 range chart, right? This is not a fast time frame. This is not a scalp trade, right? This is a 13 range chart, which means this is going to be similar to a 5, a 10, maybe a 12-minute chart. Okay, it'll be much slower time frame. This is not going to be considered a scalp. All right, guys, so that's our 2 final trades on gold. Those are the 2 biggest winners of the day here, both of which on a 13 range chart. As you guys can see, the bigger winning trades come on slower time frames. And then, of course, we finished up on crude. Now, this was kind of a little bit late in the morning here. We weren't expecting to see very much. We'd already got 100 ticks out of the day so far. We began to answer questions at this time, and about 11:30, 11:45, we usually begin to wrap things up. At 11:30 here, just when we started taking our questions and answers, short-term trend was up. Crude came right back and tested the high of day again, broke above the high. Mark a swing high there. We break above that swing high. That's going to be your breaker pattern long. Now, in this case, guys, at the high of day, this is one of those situations where we set up what we call ATM strategies, right? Automated trade management. right, ATM strategies. And what we do is we set up our trading dome to manage our trades before we ever take the trade. And the way that I set my trade up, or my ATM strategy up here for a breaker on a scalp trade, is going to be for +4, +8, and then a runner. And I'll set my stop strategy at +4 ticks. Okay, so what I do is at +4, my stop will move up to entry +1 because I expect to fill my first profit target. So it's all done automatically. Well, every once in a while, this is going to happen, where you test your +4, but you didn't fill your +4. And you can see this right here in this trade, right? It's right here where we tested the +4. Right, here's our swing high. We broke above the swing high. There's your test of the +4, and you can see then it comes right back down. So what happened was it made it look like it filled it, but it didn't really, right? So it got +4, moved my stop up to entry +1, didn't fill the target, so I didn't make any money off it, and then it scratched me out at entry +1. So that's where your +4 ticks came from. All right, now what you can do to get around that is make your stop strategy set for +5. All right, but that only works well in trending environments. All right, if we're choppy and sideways like we've been recently, I like to leave it at +4. Okay, so this happens every once in a while where we're going to get kind of this, it'll fool, right, your ATM strategy. Right, so I got stopped out too early for a +4, right, +1 times 4 contracts. And then just like we always see, we come up, we test the highs again. Notice how we didn't get anything above the highs, right, nothing above the highs. So we come back down, we look for a swing low, we break below that swing low. Now in this particular situation, guys, here on the Crude for this final trade, we knew we had support right here, right? We knew we had support right there at 65. So before I entered my trade, I made sure, and of course we told you guys this live in real time as well, we knew we had support. I'm sorry, it was at 63. It was at 63. So what I said was my target needs to be at 65. Okay, it was a trigger line. It was the trigger line on my slower time frame. So we saw a trigger line at 63, and like I said in the room today, I put my stop at 65, and that's exactly what we got. So we got filled there right at support, got my +4 at 65, and then, of course, just kind of frustrating here, again, we didn't have enough volume here. There wasn't a lot of volume. You can see what happened was it bounces up, right, filled my first target, then it bounced up, stopped me out, and then returned back down. Again, this is probably the third time today this happened to us. Now, if you were with us, 2 weeks ago, right before we get into all this chop and slop here from the holiday, we were seeing these things work out. So it just all depends on what type of day it is you're having, right? Some days you're not going to see a lot of consistency, like today. But there's a good reason for it, right? We get FOMC day tomorrow. So people are not going to be overly aggressive in the market. Guys, this day today, I can't complain, right? 120 ticks. We took $100 out of this final trade on Crude, even though, as you can see, we had all this big winner here. Could have easily been +4, +8, +20. But that's okay, guys. We'll take it. Could have been a big winner. It was a small winner. But at least we know where the patterns are, right? That's the good news. The good news is all I have to do, like we saw today, is keep trading through this chop and slop. Right? You'll make money, you'll be consistent, you'll get in the rhythm, you'll build your confidence, and when the trades actually begin to really start moving, you'll already be right in that rhythm. You'll be able to take advantage of it just like we did here this morning at 11 o'clock on the gold. All right, guys, looking good. Let's prep for tomorrow. Now, tomorrow's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Fed Day, June 23rd, 2010. We're getting closer and closer to the summer months. Now, we've had great months of June, July. August slows down a little bit, so we're fine for summer trading right now. We got 10 o'clock home sales, 10:30 crude inventories, and tomorrow, of course, we won't be trading at that time in the room, but 2:15 tomorrow is the FOMC announcement. Don't forget, tomorrow, guys, we have members-only trading at 11:30 Eastern Time, so all you members out there, make sure you guys come see us tomorrow. Let's see, Trade Room opens tomorrow, 7:45, so be here tomorrow, 7:45 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll do webinars at Tuesdays and Thursdays, right, 11:30 Eastern Time. The Beginner's Course is highly recommended for all you new traders out there, guys. The Beginner's Course will lay a firm foundation of knowledge with terms, our routine, the markets we trade, the indicators we use. Everything you need to know to follow along with us in the live trade room is in the Beginner's Course. My name is Joseph James. Hope the video helps, guys. Another huge day in the room. Having a great week, a great month. Drop us a line, come out and join us, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye for now.